Hi everyone, Ravi this side. Welcome to EnggAdda. Today in this video, we are going to discuss how we can integrate PayPal as a payment gateway in our Spring Boot application. There is a video on my channel where I have discussed about how we can create the test account of the PayPal. And in this video, we are going to see how we can integrate the PayPal as a payment gateway in our Spring Boot application. We are also going to see how we can do the test payment. Everything we are going to discuss in this video. So let's get started for that. If you are new to the payment gateways, there are a couple of videos on my channel where I have discussed about how to integrate the different payment gateways like Stripe, like Razorpay, and also have did the test payment there as well. So you can go and watch it out. If you want to integrate specifically the PayPal, then this is the video for you. So let's get started for that. I will come out of it and I will try to create one Spring Boot application, do some necessary configuration. We'll try to have like some front end code, and then we'll try to do the payment. Okay, so everything we are going to discuss here. I will come out of it and I'm going to IntelliJ, try to create one application here. So just go to the file, new, and project. Now just select Maven here and go next. We need Spring Web. So Spring Web, and then also we need the Maven dependency, or you can say PayPal SDK. Okay, so for that, let me try to search if it is there or not. PayPal, no, it is not there. From external browser, we can go to the Maven repository and then have it. So we need these two dependencies. One is the Spring Web, and another would be the PayPal SDK. Okay, so if you want to have this Lombok, you can have it out. Otherwise, it is like you can ignore it. Let me try to include the Lombok as well. So just Lombok and Spring Web, and we need the additional dependency for the PayPal is PayPal SDK. Let me try to close this one, and if you go to the browser, you can go there. Let's say PayPal Maven dependency. Just go to this Maven repository and PayPal Android SDK, REST API SDK, PayPal Core. So I will go to this REST API SDK and go to this version. Just copy this dependency and go to your application. Okay, so here we have not changed the name of our application. It is coming as a demo, so don't worry on that. You can like name it like something PayPal integration in Spring Boot. Anything is fine, but it is created with demo. No worry. Go to the pom.xml, and here you can add your dependency that you have copied from the browser. So just paste it here. Try to load your Maven. It will take few seconds to download it. I think it is downloaded. Now go to the source, go to the main, and Java. So here we'll try to have our backend codes, and then in the resource we'll try to create one simple front end page, HTML page, where we can see some input boxes where we can provide the amount that we wanted to pay, and then there would be a button that will do the payment. So okay, so this is what we are going to develop here. We are going to have a sort of backend code and a simple front end page. Okay, so let's get started. Now here I will try to create one configuration class first of all. So we'll try to create, let's say, PayPal config. So just create this, let's say, PayPal config, and let me try to annotate this with @configuration. Now we need to create couple of beans here, like bean of PayPal SDK configuration, bean of auth token credential, bean of API context. So these three beans we need to create, and we also needed this client ID, client secret, and the mode here itself. So from where you can get this client ID, client secret, and the mode. So if you'll go there to the browser, and in the previous video I showed you that how you can create your test account for the PayPal. here you will get this client ID and the client secret. In the previous video, I've discussed everything about it, so you can go there and watch it out. Okay. Now we'll try to put these details in our application.properties file, and then after that, what we can do, we can try to fetch it from application properties files using @value annotation in our this configuration class. Okay, so let me try to put it here in the application properties file. Either you can directly put this client secret and the client ID here itself, or you can pass it using the environment variable. So if you'll go to this edit configuration, and if you'll select this modify option, and you can see the environment variable here. So from here itself, you can also put those details inside this so that it is safe for you. Okay, so you can do the same thing, or you can also put it here directly, but this is not the safe way. Okay, so let me try to first of all PayPal dot, let's say, client ID, client.id, and we'll put the client ID here. Similarly, we can do the PayPal.client.secret, and here we can put the secret, and then we also need the mode. Okay, so PayPal.mode, and here we can put the mode. Okay, so we are good now. Why this is coming like the other way? Okay, no issue, we'll see. Okay, so the mode would be sandbox. Okay, so just put sandbox here, and this two credential you need to put there in the client ID and the secret. So just paste it here. This is the client ID, and this is the secret for me. Okay, so we are good now. What we are going to do is we are going to do the configuration here. So go to this PayPal config here. I will create this three different variables. One is for the client ID, another is for the client secret, and the third one for the mode to access it out. So we are going to use this value annotation, and here we need to fetch those details one by one. So let's say we'll go to your application properties file, this client ID, copy this out, and go to this config, paste it here, and let me try to create this private string client ID. And similarly, you need to create the you need to create these two variables for the others two configuration that we did. So first is, let's say, secret, and then there would be a mode. Okay, so let's say client secret, and then we need to change it to the mode. Okay, so mode, we are good. Now we need to create these three different beans. Okay, so let me try to create one by one. So the first one is PayPal SDK configuration. So let's say public, its return type would be map. So public map of string of object, or you can say string of string as well. That would be fine. Let's say PayPal SDK configuration. Okay. Now let me try to create the object of this. Like we need to put the map mode here. Okay, so let me create this string of string, and let's say config equal to new hash map, and then config dot put, let's say mode, and the mode would be, we need to pass the mode here. Now we need to return the configuration here. Let me try to import this map and the hash map here. So we are good. We did one configuration. Let me try to annotate this method with @bean. Bean. Similarly, what we need to do, we need to create these two other methods. Two others beans. So the second would be auth credentials. Okay, so let me try to create public auth credential, or token credential. Okay, and let me try to have this one. Now what we need to do, we need to create an object of our token credential. We need to pass this client ID and the secret and the PayPal SDK config method here. Okay, so return new this. We need to pass the client ID and the secret, and then we'll call this method PayPal SDK config, and we are good. Now we need to annotate this with @bean. So just bean, and then we need to create the another bean which is API context. So public API context. Okay, and let's say API context. Here what we need to do, we need to create the object of API context here, and inside that we need to pass we need to access the token out of this or token credential. So let's say context, this API context, and then we need to call this method and get the token out of it. So just get access token. We need to pass it here, return this, and also we need to set the mode here inside this context. Okay, so just let me do that. Context dot set configuration map. Okay, set configuration map, and then we need to pass this PayPal SDK config method here. So we are good now. We need to return the context. Okay, here we are getting some error. Let me try to see. Okay, so we need to either surround this thing with the try catch, or we can send, like we can throw this exception. Okay, so we are good. We did the configuration for these three things, and now we need to annotate this with @bean. We are good with the configuration. Now the next thing that we need to do is we need to create the service layer here. Okay, so let me try to create the service layer. So just right click on it, create a new class. Let's say PayPal service, and annotate this with @service annotation. And here we are not going to create the interface and then create the implementation class. We are directly going for the implementation class itself. Okay, now we need to auto wire the API context here. So just let's say private API context. Sorry, API context, and we are good. The next thing that we need to do is we need to create a payment method. Let's say create payment method. We need to pass some arguments. They are like total, how many amounts, or like how much amount we have to pay in total, what is the currency, what is the method of payment, intent, description. If there is a success scenario, where should it route to? If there is a cancel scenario, where should it route to? So those things we need to pass as an argument in the create payment method. And then one by one, what we have to do, we have to define the payment amount, we have to create the transaction containing the amount, we have to specify the payers method like PayPal or the credit card or anything. We have to create a payment object with all the details. We have to set the URL for success and the cancel scenario, and then send the payment request to the PayPal. So this is what we are going to do here or develop here in this service class. So let's get started for that. First of all, I will create the payment method here. Okay, so let me create that public payment. So make sure that this payment object is coming from the PayPal API payments. Okay, you can see this, right? Okay, so payment, let's say create payment, and here we need to pass those arguments. Okay, so let's say double is the amount, sorry, and then string, let's say currency, let's say string method, And then let's say string intent and description. Okay, let's say we have success URL and the cancel URL. Okay. Okay, so this many arguments we are passing here. All these things we need to set up. Okay. So first of all, we need to create a amount object. Okay. So we are inside it. Let me try to create the amount. Import this amount. Okay. Amount, new amount. Okay. Here what we need to do. What is okay, so this, let me try to make this total. Okay. Now we created the amount object. Now we need to set the currency here. Okay. So let's say amount dot set currency, and the currency is, let's say, the currency that we are passing as the argument. We need to pass here now amount dot set total, and here we need to pass the total. Okay. But what we are going to do, we are going to change this total. Okay. So let me try to string dot format, and let's say person 2f comma total. So we are good. Now the next thing that we need to do, we need to create the transaction object. Okay, so just create one transaction object. Transaction equal to new transaction, and then we need to set the description and the amount inside this transaction. Okay, so transaction dot set description. Just pass the description here, and then the next thing that we need to do is we need to set the amount here. So just transaction dot set amount, and we need to pass the amount object that we created here above. Okay, so we are good. Now what we need to do, we need to, so basically this transaction, whenever we try to call the payment method of the PayPal, we pass the transaction as a list of transaction. Okay, either it is a single transaction or there is a more than one transaction, we need to pass it as a list. So for that only we are going to create a list of transaction here, and inside that we are going to add this transaction object. Okay, so list of transaction, let me try to import this. Let's say transactions equal to new array list, and then we need to import this transactions dot add transaction. Okay, now we need to create the pair here. So just pair equal to new pair, and we need to create a pair object, and then inside that pair object we need to set the payment method here. Okay, so pair dot set payment method. You can also pass this pair information and all, but we are just going to pass the payment method here. You need to pass this payment method. Okay, so just let's say method, I'm just going to make this to uppercase. Okay, now we are good with the pair method, payment method that we set in the pairs. Now what we need to do, we need to create the payment object here, and inside that payment object we need to set the intent and pair and the transaction. Okay, so just create the payment, new payment object, Now what we need to do, we need to set the intent here. So payment dot set intent, pass the intent here, and then payment dot, we need to set the pair here. So just set the pair, pass the pair object that you created, and then we need to set the transactions here. So payment dot set transactions, and then pass the transaction list here. Okay, now the thing that we are left is we need to create the object of this redirect URLs, and then we have to set the cancel and the success URL. Okay, and then we have to set the this redirect URL to the payment, and then finally we need to pass the return the payment object out of this method. Okay, that's all we need to do here. So just creating one object of redirect URL. Equal to new redirect URL dot set cancel URL, and then you have to pass the cancel URL here. And then redirect dot set return URL. In this we are going to set the success URL. Okay, we need to set it out, not get. So set the cancel URL and set the return URL. We are good. Now inside this payment object we need to set this redirect URLs. Okay, and we have to pass this redirect URLs object that we created. We are good. Now we have to return the payment object here. So return payment dot create, and inside that we need to pass the application context that we auto add above. So just do that, and here it's needed to throw some exception, so try throw it. You can see PayPal REST exception. Okay, so we are good with the creation of this create payment of method. Okay, we are good. Now what we need to do, we need to create one additional method which is also a payment type, and it's called as the execute payment method. Okay, inside that method what we need to do, we need to create the payment object, we need to set the payment ID, and also we need to create the payment execution object, and then we have to set the payer ID, and then we need to return the object of the payment that we created. So this thing we need to do. So let me try to create that method as well. So let's say execute payment, now just a public payment execute. Here we need to pass only two things, one is the payment ID and another is the payer ID. Okay, so just a string payment ID string payer ID. Now create the payment object, and then payment object dot set this ID, like we can see the set ID, and inside that you need to pass the payment ID here. Okay, similarly you need to create the object of payment execution, and then just do the payment execution, and then here we need to set the payer ID. Okay, this is for the payment execution. This method we are going to create for the payment execution. Like this method we are creating is for the payment execution. We'll show you how you can use it out when we are going to develop the APIs. Okay, in the controller layer. So don't worry on that. Payment execution dot set payment, set payer ID. You need to pass the payer ID here, and we are good. Now we need to return the payment dot execute, and inside that we need to pass this API context and the payment execution. Okay, so just pass this API context and payment execution. We are good. Now we need to throw some exception here, and we are good with the service layer. We created this payment method, create payment method, and we created this execute method. Now we need to go to the next layer, which is controller. Okay, and here we need to create the APIs. Okay, so let's say PayPal controller, and we are good. Now we need to annotate this with @REST controller, and here let me try to do one more thing. Let's say I'm going to allow some class level mapping here. So for that I'm using the request mapping, and let's say it is PayPal. Okay, we are good. Now we need to auto add the service layer here. So auto add private PayPal service, and we need to create the object of it. We are good. Now we are going to create this two APIs. One is for the pay and another is for the like one API we are basically going to create, which is the pay API, and that will do the payment. And there is a success and the cancel APIs also. So I will show you. Okay, so don't worry on that. So let me try to create this pay API. It is a post API. So I'm just going to say pay, and let's say public string, sorry, make payment. Here we are going to pass the amount as a request parameter. Okay, so just let's say double amount. Yeah, good. Now what we need to do, we need to create a payment object, and then using the PayPal service object we are going to call the create payment method here inside it. Okay, so just do a payment object and PayPal service dot create payment, and inside this you need to pass all the argument that we were passing there. So one by one I will pass it out. So first of all we need to pass the amount that we are passing as a request parameter. The second thing is, let's say we need to pass the currency. So you can use either USD or INR. I'm going to use the USD here, and then let's say the payment method is PayPal. Payment method is PayPal, and then we need to pass this description. Let's say sale, and let's say the next thing what we need to do, we are passing the amount currency method and description amount currency method. Okay, something, if I'll go to this payment service, what all argument we are passing here, let me try to see. The first is amount, which is total. Okay, and then we have the currency, we have the method, we have intent, and then we are passing the description, and then cancel, and the success URL. Okay, so if I'll go to this, create this amount currency method, let me try to, before this it should come some intent, right? So intent is sell, let's say, and then description is something like anything you can pass, let's say something like payment description. Okay, now we need to pass this success and the cancel URL. Okay, So let me try to do that as well. So here I'm just going to create another controller layer where we are just simply going to create the success API and the cancel API, and it is simply returning nothing. It is returning simple something like payment successful and payment cancel. So for that, let me try to create two variables here to hold those values: static final string, let's say success URL, and let's say it is HTTP localhost, let's say 8080, and then PayPal plus success. Similarly, we need to create the cancel URL as well. So let's say cancel 8080 slash PayPal cancel. Okay, so we are good. Now we can use these things here. So just simply pass this cancel URL and then pass the success URL here. Okay, so we are good now. Let me try to close this one. So we created this, like we called this create payment method. We created the object out of it, which is a payment object. Now, what we need to do, we need to try to iterate over this payment and get links. Okay, so and then there we need to redirect to the PayPal gateway. So let me try to do that. So for, let's say, I'm just directly going to use this link object from the PayPal payment. So just you can use this, I think. Let me try to see. Links here. Payment.get links. If links get real equals to approval URL, then redirect to the actual gateway here. Okay, so link dot get real dot equals to approval underscore URL. Then we are going to return redirect. Dot. Okay, so we are good now. Now what we are getting here, we need to throw the exception. Either you can put it in try and catch, or you can throw the exception here. Okay, so why it is coming up? Okay, let me try to move it inside the try. Okay, we are good now. We are going to either return this actual payment gateway out of this, and otherwise we are going to return something like saying error processing payment. Okay, so just return something like error processing the payment. Okay, so we are good now. We are good with the creation of this pay API. Now I need to create this success and the error, or you can say cancel API also. Okay, so here I'm just going to create the success API. So this success API is different from what we have defined here. Okay, this we are going to created the other layer as well. So let me try to come here to this payment, or what we can do, let me try to do one more thing. Let me try to create another layer and create this, let's say, web controller. Let me try to rename this refactor, or directory rename is coming up, no issue. Let me annotate this with @REST controller, and request mapping, let's say PayPal, and inside it we are going to create this two APIs, which is success and the cancel. Okay, so let's say get payment. Let's say I'm just going to have something like home as well, which will return nothing but payment, something like string home, and just it will simply return the payment here. So now we are going to create the success and the cancel URLs, or APIs, you can say. So just let's say success, and here let's say cancel, success, cancel, and payment cancel, and payment successful. So we are good. Now let me do one more thing. Let me quickly create one API to call this execute method that we created inside this service class. So under the successful scenario, we need to call this execute method. So go to this PayPal controller. Let me here create one get API, get success API, you can say, to simply call this execute method. Okay, so let me quickly do that. Get mapping, and let's say success, public string payment success. Here we need to pass this payment ID and the payer ID. Okay, so let me try to do that. We're using the request parameter to do, so just use request parameter, the string payment ID, and let's say request parameter, the string payer ID. Okay, so just payer ID. We are good. Either you can do one more thing, like you can pass the values here. So let me do that. Payment ID and payer ID. Let's say payer ID. Okay, we are good. Now inside this we need to call this execute method. Okay, so just create the object of payment equal to new, sorry, with the help of this PayPal service object that we created, we need to call this execute method, and inside this we need to pass the payment ID and the payer ID. Okay, so we are good. Now what we need to do, sorry, with the help of this payment object, we need to get state, and then if it is equal to approved, then what we need to do, we need to return the payment successful. Okay, so approved, sorry, we need to return the payment successful. Okay, so payment is successful, done. Okay, we are good. We need to keep this under this if statement. So if this is this, then we need to return this. Now, if that is not the case, we need to return the payment failed. Okay, we are good. Now we need to keep this under the try and catch, or you can throw the exception. Let me try to keep it in the try and catch. So, why it is going out? Okay, so look good. Now we are good. We need to integrate the front end here. So for the front end, I already have written this JavaScript code. I will provide you that whole thing. Like in the description of this video, I will give you the repository link of this whole application, and from there itself you can go and then copy this out, so you can use it directly. So I will explain you what we are doing here, but still you can try to grab it from there and then you can use it. Okay, so what you can do, you can go to the resource, and then under the template you can create one, let's say, payment HTML file, and here you can put these things. Let me explain you what we are doing. So we are creating one title called PayPal payment, and then is like these are the criteria for it. We are creating one button here. Okay, now if you'll go down, actually here what we are doing is we are just trying to call this make payment method that we have created inside this. If you'll go there to this controller, you can see this make payment method, right? So that is what we are calling up here, and it says pay with PayPal on click. And then if you'll see under this make payment method, what we are doing, we are passing the amount. It should be not less than like we have to enter some valid amount here. Okay, and then what we are doing, we are just simply routing to this PayPal pay API, post API that we created. If you'll go there to the controller, you can see this, right? So we are simply routing it to that so that the payment can be done, and then based upon the success and the failure scenario, we are redirecting to the URLs. Okay, so this is simple thing. This is what we are doing. Don't worry on that. I will give you the give you this whole repository link in the description of this video, so that directly you can come up here and then use it. Now let me try to run this application and try to open it in the browser. So here you can see the browser option. Once it is up and running, we can directly go to the browser and then see. So it's failing with something. Let me try to see what it is. PayPal control uncertified express through the failed PayPal service. (401) error response, invalid client, invalid description, client authentication failed. We have the things ready. Okay, I think we are using the same thing here twice, in the client ID and the secret as well. So let me try to copy the thing. Go to the app credentials and just copy this thing for the client ID and put it there. Let me try to remove this. Now the secret is this, so just copy this one. Copy it. Okay, paste the secret. We are good. Now run this again and then see. Still it is failing. Why it is failing? So request mapping handling success. Okay, there is already a PayPal controller. Okay, so go to this. I think we don't need this one because we have created the other one. So just run this again. and hope this work. Yeah, it started. Okay, now if you'll go there to this PayPal HTML, you can find the option to open it in the browser. Just click on it, and yeah, it is opening up. Let me open the tab here. And under the network tab, you can see what we are doing. So let's say I'm going to enter amount. Let's say pay with PayPal. It is processing the amount, and it is failing. It is failing with the course error. Okay. So we need to do some course configuration at the back end. So make sure that you have this URL handy. Like this is where our front end is opening up. So we need to do the configuration at the back end for this one, for this URL. Okay, so what you can do, you can go to this controller layer, copy this localhost 63342 and go to this controller layer. Oh, it is not opening up. And here at the top of this class, just use the @cross origin, and inside that just pass this URL where your front end is opening up. Okay, so http localhost 63342. Okay, we are good now. Just run this again and then try to see. Go to the HTML and open this up again in the browser, and this time let's see how it is behaving. So just open this one, open this tool, and let's say I'm just entering $1 here, pay with PayPal, and then payment initiation failed, but we are getting 200. Why it is so? Let's say pay with PayPal. Why it is failing? Amount to we are not getting anything under the console logs. So how we can check it out? And here you can see we are getting 200. PayPal pay amount. Let me try to check the things that we are calling. So go to the payment HTML and please enter valid amount, payment processing, redirect, payment initiation failed. Here it is coming up. It says PayPal pay 8080 PayPal pay amount, and then we are passing the amount. So go to the PayPal controller again. PayPal pay, and here we are passing this as amount. Okay, let me try to keep all the things here inside this. Let me run this again. I don't think this will affect, but let's try. It's failing. Window location instead of URL. Go to the controller again. Then try to open up this thing. HTTP localhost PayPal pay amount is this, and then we are passing the amount. what is happening up here, man? So it took some time to figure out that I was making one mistake in the API that we developed, which is a P API. So if you can see here at line number 49 in the payment.html, there is no space between the redirect to and then colon, right? But in the API, we were having a space, and that is why it was causing a issue. So let me try to remove this space and then try to run this again, and then we'll try to do a test payment and then see. So it will take some time to make it up and running. So wait for that, and then once it is up and running, we can start doing the payment. So go to this payment.html file again and open this up in the browser, and let me close this. Open a network tab here. So go to the more tool, developer tools, and then network tab. Now here you need to enter the amount. So just I'm making the payment of $1, and here you can see we are routing back to the payment gateway. Now here you can see you have to enter the email address and the password, or you can pay with the credit card or the debit card, right? So here we are going, like, here we have created one test payment account, right? If you go to the testing tools sandbox account, here you will find that test payment account that we have created. So how you can create it out, I already showed it in that previous video. So you can come here and create this account, and you have to open this one. With the help of this account only you can do the test payment, right? So you can see this is the email for that. Just copy it out and go to the browser, just paste it here, and then it also provides you the password. So you can see this password, just copy it and go to this, paste the password here, and then log in. Now you can see okay, why it is not going, just you can see it is going to do the actual payment, and it says hi John. So like this test payment account you have created, the username is John, and this is the user email, and the password is given there, right? And you can see the PayPal balance is $1. You can also choose this credit union, Visa, PayPal credit. Like you can try different options for the payment. We are going with the PayPal balance, and then we'll try to go to the continue to review order, and then we'll see. So you can see payment is successfully done. So this is how you can integrate the PayPal payment gateway in your Spring Boot application and try to do the test payment. Now if you want to move your application to production, what you have to do is you have to do one simple thing. If you'll go to your application, in the application.properties file, here you can see the PayPal mode is sandbox. Now you have to make it to live, and then you are good to go. So this is about the video, guys. If you like the video, please hit the like button and please subscribe the channel for more such content. Thanks.